Gators 4 runs. The Gators have now won 34 of the last 46 games against Florida State. They return to SEC play Friday at Arkansas. It's 66 degrees at 6 o'clock. Time and temp brought to you by Beulah Air and Plumbing. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Still, present, ready. Farah doesn't flinch. Let's go into the night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL, 92.5 FM.
Great moments are born from great opportunity. And that's what you have tonight, boys. You've earned the right. The great Kurt Russell on Herb Brooks. That's kind of the way I feel way across the country. In San Francisco, Major League Baseball underway, the earliest it has ever started. And it is the Yankees who have now gone 16 years without winning a World Series. Since they won their first in 1923, there was only 1995 where there wasn't someone on an active roster who had won a World Series ring with the Evil Empire. That is up until this year, okay? That happened, it was announced that David Robertson would retire. He was the lone member of the 2009 World Series champion New York Yankees. Since then, there's been plenty. The Dodgers have won 2 in a row. The Red Sox have won a couple of World Series since 2009. We'll see. Okay, tonight is the start of it all. I am absolutely thrilled. This is the most excited that I've been for baseball in quite some time. And it's not all about the Red Sox. It's honestly not. There is so many young, great players, especially shortstops, all across Major League Baseball. So I know. Don't turn the dial. I'm going to get the football freaking immediately, okay? I mean, I'm going to get there. But I just wanted to spend a second or two on the great game of Major League Baseball, and it does start tonight. How's this for a stag? Win a bar bet with it. Be creative, whether it's one of those 36-ounce drafts. Man, I had a few of those out in St. Aug on Saturday. Part of the reason why I had to call in sick for my Sunday tee time. It was a 1:14 tee time, and I still couldn't make it. If you were to get a hit in all 162 games a season, and you did that for 26 consecutive seasons, you would still fall short by 44 total hits of what Pete Rose did in his career. Let me repeat that. 26 seasons. You play every single game. You're Lou Gehrig. You're Cal Ripken. You play all 162. You get a hit in every game. You would still fall 44 hits shy of Pete Rose. To me, that's one of the greatest baseball statistics I've ever heard. You know, many have talked about Hank Aaron. If you take away Hank Aaron's 755 home runs, you realize he still has more than 3,000 hits? It's kind of like if you take away Wayne Gretzky's over 900 career goals, he still, because of his assists, which are nearly 2,000, has the most points of any player in the National Hockey League. It's absolutely out of this world. But anyway, we're on the cusp of it. It begins tonight, a full slate coming up tomorrow. And I'm just thrilled about it. Okay, the reason why I gave you whatever it was involved with Herb Brooks and that great speech by Kurt Russell. I haven't checked out the new deal yet on Madison. It's like up next, and it's going to be hard to slide in those type of shows now with baseball coming up each and every night. And, of course, tomorrow night, the Sweet 16 starts. We'll check in with the Philly Godfather. He's scheduled today for 6:37. Again, he ran a clean slate a week ago. I mean, just printing money, the Philly Godfather. His book remains #1 right now on Amazon. I'm trying to remember the category. It may be true crime. You know, hey, listen, this is a man he sold a lot of weed. You know, listen, I'm not surprised that the Philly Godfather was pinched for weed the way that I was surprised when I watched the Yacht Rock documentary that Christopher Cross made all his cabbage by selling weed. That's how he bought his equipment. He was also stoned. He was on angel dust when he wrote the song Ride Like the Wind in the, desert or the long pastures of the middle of the state of Texas, prairies and what have you. Not necessarily surprised by the Philly Godfather, but anyway, he's had some book signings, been doing a lot of good stuff, and he's going to join us tonight. So I am definitely looking forward to that. Hey, here's something I want to bring to you. And this doesn't only apply to baseball. This applies in sports in general. Okay, how many times have you heard great players often don't make great coaches? I mean, think about all the failures of phenomenal players who couldn't get it done as coaches. There are exceptions. Lenny Wilkens, who passed in 2025, in my opinion, has to be #1. A Hall of Fame player, a Hall of Fame coach. You may go to Mike Ditka on me, and I'll accept it. I mean, how many right now in the NFL? How many right now in college football? It's unlike college basketball, where you've got like everyone's favorite from Scranton, Pennsylvania, gym rat, Jerry McNamara, who was announced as a new head coach at Syracuse. I'll tell you what, I can't remember what happened in the national title game 2 years ago. I can tell you what happened in, 2003, when Syracuse won it, and it was that three-guard offense with the true freshman of Jerry McNamara. Remember Billy Edelin? Of course, Hakeem Warwick, that great blocked shot against Kansas as they tried to tie it. Carmelo Anthony was on that basketball team. If I remember correctly, they only had one senior, the Jim Boeheim, on that team in 2003, and that was Keith Duaney. And all these young freshmen did some great things. So, yeah, I could certainly do that, and he's the new coach at Syracuse. But, we get on the coaches all the time. What about broadcasters? Look at what Netflix is giving us tonight. Al Pujols. What a monster. Over 700 career home runs. Barry Bonds. No one seems to like Barry Bonds, except for me. I love him. I was lucky enough to do overnights in Chicago for 7 years during his career. I didn't miss an at-bat. I'd be watching Bonds. I'd be taking a call. I'd go to Scranton, Pennsylvania, and take a phone call. They'd want to ask me about the Pittsburgh Steelers. And they'd be like, Rick, you there? You there? And I'd just totally forget that I'm doing a radio show because I'm watching Barry Bonds hit on one of those screens. He's going to be there tonight. All right, CC Sabathia. You're talking about Hall of Famers or guys who should be in the Hall of Fame. Are they going to be gentle? Are they not going to criticize? I agree that the best players who played the game should get opportunities over others when it comes to being a broadcaster. Okay? I agree with that. But how many are going to be A, really good, or B, take some chances and be honest, be controversial, be a Charles Barkley? And look at Rodney Harrison. A lot of people believe he's the reason why Tony Dungy was fired. He called out the gutless Tony Dungy for not having enough berries to simply say, I didn't vote for Bill Belichick to get into the Hall of Fame. Instead, he hid it. He ran from it. I mean, it was so obvious he didn't vote. Just say it. Ended up costing him his job. Rodney Harrison's probably still pissed. You go back to when they beat the living tar out of Reggie Wayne and, Marvin Harrison and Bill Polian started crying and whining. Tony Dungy was the coach, and they came up with a Ty Law rule that said you're no longer, it's totally changed the way that defenses now can't put a finger on wide receivers. Bill Polian cries, Bill Polian pumps in fake noise, and Bill Polian gets what he wants. But Rodney Harrison, let's give him credit. Who else out there? I don't watch these shows. I don't do it. To me, they're fluff. To me, they never really give you much entertainment. Now, I will say the exception has always been that NBA show with Ernie Johnson and Shaq and Kenny Smith and obviously Charles Barkley's in a class by himself. He is far and away the number one analyst in sports, period. Okay? And that's not even a conversation. But how many other guys would you put in that category? It's not going to be Chris Collinsworth. He's the best we've ever seen at any particular position in any particular game. Troy Aikman, kind of wrapped up the year by calling out C.J. Stroud. I'll give Aikman some credit for doing that. So I'm just a little bit fascinated tonight with Netflix getting this opportunity to bring us Major League Baseball. And you've got all these new broadcasters who get an opportunity now at a second career. Is there going to be a guy? Is there going to be a couple of guys? Do we get it from Jeter? Do we get it from A-Rod? Do we get it from Big Papi? Do we get it from Pedro Martinez? You know the guys. You see them. Frank Thomas, right? Pete Rose, before he passed, was doing. You see who they are. You know who they are. And I'm going to be fascinated by this tonight. It's not something I hear a lot of people talk about. Frankly, I haven't heard almost anyone talk about it. They don't have to. They got enough cash. They've got enough class. They got enough, whatever it may be, knowledge within the game that, they don't have to sell out like a Skip Bayless. They don't have to sell out some of these national broadcasters who actually say things that they don't mean, but they do it to develop attention. And you can call it a hot take or you can be wrong, and it doesn't matter. These guys don't have to go down that road. They're established in the game that they represent. But it would be pretty cool to see someone really rise from it, because I think baseball's lacking right now. John Smoltz is outstanding. I thought Tim McCarver was outstanding. I remember all the people who disliked Tim McCarver. It's amazing how many people dislike broadcasters. And you're getting fresh voices tonight, both in studio as well as calling the game. So it will be pretty cool. If you want to comment on that, as always, we will get to you a little bit later on the show. Two ways you can join us: 641-1010 on the text line, brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures. Also on YouTube tonight. Just roll on in at 1010XL into the night. All right, when I come back, I got a little something as well that I think is going to make you think just a tad bit. And then we're going to really get after some Jaguars football. I got some things here that I've thought about. I'm going to ask John Osher about them a little bit later on in the program. Of course, the NFL is starting on a Wednesday, which realistically is stupid. But as a consumer, you love it. As a consumer, you're like, shut up. Shut up, Baloo. What are you talking about? You want to give me football 7 nights a week, and I'll take it. And you know what? I got it. I get it. It's just unfair. It's unfair for the game. It's unfair for the players. You play on a Wednesday. What the heck is that going to do? It gives you a huge advantage. You're obviously not going to play that next week, right? There's no way Seattle open up on a Wednesday night. They haven't announced their opponent. They're obviously not going to play on Sunday. So now them and their opponent get yet an extra day to get ready for the game the following weekend. It just doesn't make a whole heck of a lot of sense. And, the owners' meetings are coming up on the 29th. We're starting to get more and more and more on what is going to be discussed. No tush-push this year. Okay? They're not even going to discuss it, which is interesting. I hope they don't have a long conversation about last year's tabled divisional playoff rankings. I hope they don't go down that road. You know, and listen, if Jacksonville wins 13 games every year, it's not going to matter. But if you go back to the last 4 years prior to that, where 10 wins and 9 wins was winning the AFC South, you know what that means? You'd be on the road. Even though you won the AFC South, you would be traveling to a second-place team within the conference. And you don't want that. But we'll talk about that coming up here in just a little bit. All right, Shmunez Vision, I want to thank them. Cut the lawn today for the first time in really this year. And it was a large cut. So my first big black snake. Man, it went next door into my I'm talking right now about getting a lanai put in and doing all that with the screening, and had some folks over yesterday, and we're cutting it up and talking about it. And of course, the GF's got 77 questions and he's got 77 answers. I only asked one question, and it was, can snakes get in? I said, no. Sure enough, I'm cutting the lawn today. What happens? Snake is in my next door neighbor's lanai. Okay. And I got good eyes. I was able to see. I also got a broom and got it out there. It was just it was a racer, right? They're good, right? They kill the rodents. They kill the bugs. They're good to have around the lawn, no doubt about it. But I spotted that bad boy. And, it shook me a little bit. It did. And I have so many issues, okay? Top to bottom, if you look at health, and myself included, man, I mean, it's one thing after another. You get your blood tested, whatever, you get the results. You're like, you got to do this, you got to do that. I'm on day 2 without soda. I'm going freaking crazy. But you know what I have? Great eyes. And that's because of Shmunez Vision. A lot of you out there keep on delaying your opportunity to have great eyes. Make an appointment today at Shmunez Vision. They'll take you through the entire examination. If you want surgery, laser eye. If you need surgery, whether it's refractive or cataract, you're talking about 37 years worth of experience. Dr. Catherine Shmunez, Dr. Neil Shmunez, Dr. John Hunt. Check them out online. Shmunez Vision. Also go to Instagram, get all the testimonials. All right, we are jam-packed. What a fun night this is going to be. I'm going to give you something here on the other side that I don't think you've heard as well in a little bit. Took a deep dive on it today and was actually surprised by the results. If you don't know what I'm talking about, good. It's coming up.
Does Flutie have a pro miracle?
I'm Doug Flutie on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Here's Flutie rolling out, and he is in for the touchdown.
When you're injured, you need more than legal advice. You need someone who truly cares. I'm Chris Campione, and at Campione Law, I take pride in what we do. You're never just another case. We take the time to listen, guide you through the process, and fight for your recovery every step of the way. And remember, you pay nothing unless we win. Zip, nada, nothing. Learn more at CampioneLaw.com. Offices, Jacksonville and St. Augustine.
Count on Campione Law.
For 25 years, Instant Keys has been the go-to locksmith service for car keys, transponders, and even high-tech smart locks. For honest, professional locksmith service,
Instant Keys comes to you. From free agency to the draft, training camp to the playoffs, nobody covers the Jags like Jaguars today. Mike Dempsey and Fat Tony bring the smartest football talk in Duval. Covered by Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors. 10 to noon weekdays on 1010XL.
What if the next roof you put on your home was the last one? Not another replacement in 15 or 20 years, the last roof. Metlock Roofing is Florida's only manufacturer and installer of this exclusive roofing system. Engineered for strength, built for Florida weather, backed by a lifetime warranty. Imagine never needing another roof. Call 938-9933 or visit metlokroofing.com. Get your last roof today with Metlock. License number CCC 1335581.
Are you looking for a place to outfit your truck or van? It's Catlin Truck Accessories. For 105 years and 4 generations, Catlin is the name you can count on. This is Keith Catlin, and we know trucks and vans too, from Lear toppers, ladder racks, van shelving, strobe lighting, roll and lock bed covers, and everything in between. If you want quality products and great customer service, there's only one name. It's Catlin.
Who can you count on? Count on Catlin.
For 105 years, you can count on Catlin.
The price of gold is soaring and the price of silver is near record highs. If you got gold or silver just laying around, Estates Roadshow wants it. Broken chains, old rings, coins, watches, diamonds, vintage jewelry. If it's valuable, they're buying it. No appointment needed, just walk in. Get a free appraisal and walk out with cash. They're also buying pre-1964 silver coins, flatware, sterling silverware stamped 925. They're buying coin collections, gold, silver, foreign, and domestic. Plus, they've been in business over 35 years with thousands of happy customers. Licensed, bonded, state-certified scales, highest tech equipment, employees with GIA certification. The Estates Roadshow is happening in St. Augustine at World Golf Renaissance, Sunday through Friday, 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. For more info, call Marshall at 609-781-6559 or go to estatesroadshow.com and follow Estates Roadshow on Facebook to see all upcoming events.
March is full of upsets, but your oil change shouldn't be one of them. Don't gamble with your time in a waiting room. Go with a proven winner, Valvoline Instant Oil Change. No appointment, stay in your car, and a full-service oil change in 15 minutes. That's why Valvoline has a 4.7-star national rating and was named #1 quick lube in America by Forbes for customer service. Make the smart pick this March. Valvoline Instant Oil Change. Quick, easy, and built to win.
PGA Tour star Ricky Fowler.
If you want to be the best, you have to practice with the best. That's why I had Southwest Greens install and maintain my putting green, and my synthetic lawn, and my chipping area, and my practice bunker area, and my bocce ball court, and our pole vaulting area.
Southwest Greens is the world's premier manufacturer and installer of putting greens, synthetic grass, chipping areas, practice bunkers, and just about anything else you want to do in your yard.
It's Southwest Greens.
Log on to southwestgreensofjacksonville.com to see what they can do to your backyard.
The Clay County Fair turns 40 this year. 4 decades of crazy rides, live music, great food, and Team 1010XL's food eating contest. It's your main man, E.T., and I'll be looking for you April 2nd through the 12th. Learn more at claycountyfair.org.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farah doesn't flinch. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Billy Godfather will join us in 15 minutes. Looking forward to that conversation. John Osher at 7. Plenty on the Jaguars coming up with the NFL's owners' meetings getting underway on March 29th. Okay. Tonight's show is brought to you by the Alexander Law Practice. I'm going to tell you all about them in just a couple of minutes. Opening day will be on a Wednesday. That's September 9th in Seattle. They haven't announced the opponent. They're forced to push it up a day because of owners' greed. We need a game in Australia, and that's exactly what we're going to get. That'll be on Thursday night, September 10th at 8:35, San Francisco, and the Los Angeles Rams. So, yeah, want to make everything international. Even though there's not a player and coach who wants to go, it's all about money in the pocket for these billionaires. Yet the situation with the officials is even scarier. It's looking right now like this is headed for a major lockout. And again, they make $200 large, $250,000 a year. Some do. They're able to work. They're all businessmen, lawyers, whatever it may be. And the conversation always comes up about making them full-time. The NFL says, hell no, there's too much of a dark period. There's too many months that they don't need officials. Therefore, they shouldn't be full-time employees. Well, if you think they're bad now at what they do, they're still the best there is around. You imagine what it's like if they go to deep into the college game and bring in some officials. All right, so no discussion on the tush push. We know that's going to happen. There's a lot of talk about changing the way of getting information to referees, legitimately having someone upstairs who can throw a flag. We always talk about penalties that were called. What about penalties that were not called? Apparently, that is really next for the NFL. A ton of stuff on kick changes, again, with the kickoff. They can't solve it. You know, you've already blown that thing wide open. Why not just 1st and 10 from the 25? Just eliminate the kick game. You've made it a total disgrace. You took away the greatest play in football. And it's such a buzzkill. It is. It's like going to see a rock band and you're so amped. You've been tailgating for hours. You're drilling spirits. You're getting all fired up. It's one of these bands that you wanted to see forever. And they open up with like a deep cut or a new song that you've never heard of. That's football. You take the field. People are going crazy. Everyone's standing. Here's the opening kickoff. Touchback. It is. It's the ultimate buzzkill. Oh, well, look at the numbers improved. Come on. And that's ABA stuff. That's Arena Football League stuff. But anyway, they're going to do a great deal with that. I'm going to ask John Oehser about this coming up at 7. Final thought on it again. And, yeah, I said this last night. I've said it many times. I have never tried so hard on a topic and got absolutely nothing. Okay? Zip from you a year ago when I was trying to make a huge deal about the conversation of changing the playoff structure. And in the AFC South, all you got to do is win, what, 9 games? And you're going to host the wild card weekend. Serious conversations were about reseeding it where if you are a second place in a division, but you have 11, 12, 13 wins, you would host, and the divisional winner would travel. Couldn't get anyone. And, yeah, I believe this. And I'm not saying Shad Khan's not a smart guy. I'm not saying Shad Khan doesn't know football, okay? But I think this is where Baselli really comes in. I think there's certain things, the meat and potatoes, the intangibles that multi-billion-dollar owners don't think about because they own 100 companies. They own 150 companies. They have, 500,000 employees or whatever it may be. Baselli's a smart enough guy where he can get the ear of Shad Khan and say, Shad, you got to vote against this. If it takes 9 wins to win the AFC South, and all of a sudden the Jags win it again, Jacksonville's only won the division 3 times. That's it. 3 times. But right now, they're in the smack dab middle of it, right? Houston's the favorite. They are in most books. But if Jackson, and again, you win 13 games there, you're not going to have to worry about it. But that's not realistic. They have a first-place schedule. So maybe they win 10 games this year. And it's a good season. You'd go on the road. I believe that's where Tony Baselli goes to Shad Khan and says, Sean, absolutely, positively, do not vote for this change. And again, I tried real hard a year ago. Not one of you. I thought I was, talking to my cats or something. I had never been so rejected, perhaps since I was, 19, 20, trying to pick up some hot chick at Florida State. All right, I've blown the opportunity to get into what I wanted to here. So I'm going to start with this after John Osher, but it involves all 4 sports teams. And the only reason why I was going to bring it to your attention is I get asked, it feels like weekly, hey, Baloo, if another professional team came in, the big boys now, what sport would it be? And in my opinion, it's hockey. I just don't think it would work around here with baseball. Stadium's too small, right, for a Major League Baseball stadium. I can see the NBA, but, Orlando's right down the road, man. It's a driver and 3 wood away. And I never, ever, ever am asked about the Orlando Magic. And I also happen to be a big fan of our text line. And there's nothing that comes in. Now, maybe it's because I'm known as a hockey guy, but I get questions on the Panthers. I get questions on the Lightning. I get baseball questions. Okay? Never basketball. I just don't think it would work here. I think it would be hockey. But they're not, it's not close to being a possibility right now. It's not even remotely close. We do know that the NBA is going to expand. They're talking about Vegas and they're talking about Seattle, but it's really fascinating if you consider just saying a city with 4 sports teams, how many. I think you'd be very interested in what that answer is. And we've seen a lot of teams come and go. I was just in Phoenix, 6 weeks ago for a vacation. They lost the Coyotes to, of all places, Salt Lake City, Utah. So we'll get to that coming up in a little bit. We have the Philly Godfather coming up here in 6 minutes. All right, let me tell you about the Alexander Law Practice. Okay? And, what's really important here is, for starters, many of you, and I get it, are nervous to pick up the phone and call a law firm. You may think even a phone call, you're going to get billed. And then if you meet with them, you're going to get billed. Well, let's get that out of the way. No retainer fee, nothing. Never out of pocket. When you sit down with them, nothing. The phone call, nothing. Retainer fee, nothing. Okay? You're not coming out of pocket. Now, you may be right now all alone. You got a car that won't work. It wasn't your fault. It was a careless driver. You were the victim. You may be physically injured, and you don't know where to turn. Well, I got the answer for you. Alexander Law Practice. Rick Alexander is one of you. I want to say one of us, but I'm technically from Boston. He's one of you. Okay? He's born in Duval, lives in Duval, always has been in Duval. Okay? And there are fantastic law firms, statewide and nationally. But with Rick Alexander, you're going to be dealing directly with him and his expertise. Okay? He's got a fine staff with him, but he is involved in each and every one of his cases. That's comforting to know that that's what you are going to get. And that's the way things are at the Alexander Law Practice. So if you have been injured personally, car accident, no matter what it is, just go to Alexander Law Practice online. You can place a call, 400-6600. But again, your best bet, go to alexanderlawpractice.com. All right, let's bring in the Philly Godfather. Let's do that next. I tell you what, we got 4 games that I'm going to ask him about. Let me find my text here. Just because what you may be playing tomorrow night or Friday night. We're going to talk about Iowa, Nebraska. We're going to talk about Illinois, Houston. We're going to talk about St. John's, Duke. We're going to talk about Michigan State, UConn. Also, I'm going to ask him, did he do anything baseball-wise? Season totals, World Series, pennant winners, individual home runs, whatever it may be. That's all coming up. He is the Philly Godfather, and he joins us next on Into the Nights.
Streaming live from the XL Digital Studios. Polished by Harbor Dental Care, the locally owned smile restoration experts.
Indoor golf in Ponte Vedra is here. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Play the best courses in the world at Back 9 Golf. top simulators, analytics to improve your game, or just have a blast with friends or a client. Get this, you can bring your own beverages, including cocktails. Go to back9golf.com, book a tee time today. Membership opportunities, lessons, Back9 Golf in Ponte Vedra, next to Nice High School. Back9 Golf, where golf never sleeps.
Leon Serza here, your lemon pepper guy. You know Wingstop always delivers. And I'm not talking about that cooked-to-order, hand-sauced and tossed chicken sandwich in your choice of 12 mouth-watering flavors. I'm not talking about the house-made ranch. So good, nobody will blame you if you double dip. I'm talking about Wingstop that delivers straight to your door. And did you know they're open until 1 a.m.? So visit wingstop.com or use the app to get flavors delivered right to your door late night only at Wingstop.
Can't stop. Wingstop. It's tournament time, and Best Bet St. Augustine has a full lineup of poker tournaments this month. Don't miss daily no-limit hold'em tournaments with buy-ins ranging from $60 to our $160 6-hour Ironman on Fridays. And don't miss the exciting $300 no-limit hold'em St. Augustine Championship with a $100,000 guarantee for March 26th through the 29th. For more information, visit bestbetjacks.com. That's bestbetjacks.com.
Hi, I'm Sean Monahan from Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach. Since 1977, we've been Jacksonville's local family jeweler with a beautiful selection of fine jewelry and certified diamonds. But we're also Jacksonville's leading buyer of gold, silver, and diamonds from the public. Gold has recently hit an all-time high at over $5,000 per ounce, and silver is over $100 per ounce. Pay bills, buy something fun. Now is the time to sell your gold and silver for cash and get top dollar, or trade it in for a new piece and get even more at Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach.
Hey, it's Matt Hayes. Most things are easy when you're motivated. The question is, what happens when you're not? That's where Awaken 180 was different for me, Sneaky Joe, Bowerly, Beamer, and everyone else I know. Get motivated at awaken180weightloss.com.
Bud Light and everyone at Anheuser-Busch want to remind you to get home safely every time. People are counting on you, on the road and at home. Plan ahead with safe rides, and don't forget to hydrate between beers. Bud Light encourages everyone to enjoy responsibly and socialize safely.
Mark Watson here to tell you a little bit about hardballcreative.com. It's your online promo haven with thousands of ideas on how to promote your company. We're open 24/7, 365.
Hardball Creative. Hardball does it all.
I used to dread going to the dentist. Every visit felt like a sales pitch with constant upselling, surprise fees on my bill, and I could never get in when I needed to. But Harbor Dental Care? Totally different. They saw me the next day, gave me honest pricing up front, and even set me up with a payment plan I could actually afford. No pressure, no surprise charges, just kind people who get it. If you want to experience dentistry the way it should be, book your appointment today at harbordental.care. That's HARBOUR dental.care.
Are you looking for a place to outfit your truck or van? It's Catlin Truck Accessories. For 105 years and 4 generations, Catlin is the name you can count on. This is Keith Catlin, and we know trucks and vans too, from Lear toppers, ladder racks, van shelving, strobe lighting, roll and lock bed covers, and everything in between. If you want quality products and great customer service, there's only one name. It's Catlin.
Who can you count on? Count on Catlin.
For 105 years, you can count on Catlin.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focused, fueled, fearless, Farah. Here's another call on the 1010XL hotline, driven by Key Buick GMC, home of the lifetime powertrain warranty.
I don't think they come much hotter than the Philly Godfather last week. My goodness, you talk about a clean sweep. He is a best-selling author. He's been on tour, and we are always blessed to have the professional handicapper as well, the Philly Godfather, join us right here on Into the Night with Rick Ballou. Philly Godfather, my goodness, you've been a busy man.
Yeah, between the book signings, the book sales, the website, betting on these March Madness games that will drive you crazy if you let it. But thank God we've done extremely well, and we made everyone a ton of money.
You crushed it here last week. Absolutely crushed it.
Yeah, it happens sometimes, but at the end of the day, we got about a 5% edge over the House, so don't get too excited about
Yeah.
it. You know what I mean?
All right, tell us about the best-selling book, Booked. I read it when it came out. I loved it, but I know you continue with your book signing. There are people here in Jacksonville who want to read it.
Yeah, I want to thank everyone first off for buying the book and making it number one on Amazon new releases. If you want to pick up a copy, you can get an autographed copy at phillybooked.com. It'll take 3 to 7 business days. Or you can go to Amazon or Barnes & Noble. That's shipped to order. You'll get it the next day, but it won't be signed.
Are you enjoying these Q&As? Have you had anyone kind of ask you something that maybe you were very surprised about, or is it going exactly the way that you expected it to?
Yeah, every once in a while you get an off-the-wall question, but it's been a lot of fun, and I love talking to people because, the first thing they do is they talk about the cover, and next thing you know, they want to, know everything about your life, and are there any other stories? And some stories I can't tell or I can't put in the book. But the best part is at the end of the conversation, it always ends with a hug or a shake. We shake our hands.
Yeah.
It's just a good time for everybody.
All right, tight line tomorrow night. It is game number 2. It is number 9, Iowa, a 9 seed, a 4 seed with Nebraska. The Cornhuskers somewhere around a 1.5 favorite. What do you make of this game, Philly Godfather?
Yeah, we see some movement in the market. It opened up Nebraska minus 3.5. Price quickly disappeared. Cornhuskers, like you said, are down to minus 1.5, painted basically everywhere on your sports betting screen. We've also seen a 3-point dip on the total from the opening number of 134.5 down to 131.5, 132, depending on which sportsbook you use. So there's some real sharp money on the under. I haven't bet the game at the current price. I'd probably lean Nebraska on the money line minus 25 cents, minus 125. Even though Iowa won the rebounding battle in both games this year, Nebraska has played the more efficient basketball in the season. They got 5 more wins while playing a slightly tougher strength of schedule. Cornhuskers also won 8-6 versus top 50 teams this year, while Iowa went 5-9. I hope I'm wrong for Iowa fans, but I think they played their Super Bowl last week, beating Florida. The last game beat Florida. And this Nebraska team is one of the better defenses in the nation. And the 3-point defense is, I think it's ranked number 1 of any team left in the tournament. So it's going to be hard to put up those 3-pointers. I think Nebraska wins the game. But just to play it safe, I laid the money line minus a quarter.
All right. Second game in the, in the city of Houston will be Houston. Well, there's been a little bit of flack there about how as a 2 seed, they actually are able to play at home. They will take on a 3 seed in Illinois. What do you make of this game?
Yeah, I bet a couple things. The first thing I bet was Houston not to make the Final Four at minus 135. And then this game's kind of tough because Houston, they got the home court advantage here. But with that said, going into this year's tournament, I wasn't as bullish on Houston as I was the previous year. Last year, I had Houston ranked number 2. This year, I got them ranked 9th, right before St. John's. Up to this point, though, you can make an argument that during the tournament, they played lights out. They beat Idaho and Texas A&M by an average of 31 points. I like the dog here, plus 3.5 points. I took Illinois before the season started at 30-1, and I'm not hedging a penny on that bet. I think Illinois can beat this team. I have ranked higher than Houston. I like Illinois here, plus 3.5 points. I think they win the game outright, tell you the truth.
Wow. Okay. Interesting pick there by the Philly Godfather, taking the dog, grabbing the 3.5, but liking them as well to win outright. Philly Godfather, how do our listeners get a hold of you, all your picks, etc.?
Yeah, you can follow me on X, Twitter. I give out a bunch of free stuff. Or you can go to phillygodfather.com, and that's the website where you get my legendary sports betting moves.
St. John's in Duke. This is the first game coming up on Friday night. Duke favored somewhere in the neighborhood of 6.5 points.
Yeah, 6.5, 7. Total's at 142. 7 points to me feels a little heavy. It's so hard to beat Rick Pitino in the Sweet 16. I think his record is like 12-1 straight up in the Sweet 16 lifetime. And he's made the Elite Eight like 57% of the time. I think he's 23 March Madness appearances. So he's so good to beat. Then you add the fact that Duke has looked vulnerable over recent play. 3 of the last 5 games versus Florida State, Virginia, and Siena. They really haven't looked that good. Have escaped with some narrow victories. On the flip side, did just beat TCU by 23 points. But again, in the first half of that game, they were lucky to be up by 4 points before outscoring Jamie Dixon's team by 19 in the second half. When you're comparing the two teams for the year, St. John's has had the tougher strength of schedule, and they excel at metrics that are weighted in this head-to-head matchup, like turnover per possession. St. John's ranks 44th in the nation, while Duke ranks 130th. Meanwhile, St. John's also reigns over Duke in the opponent turnovers per possession battle, with St. John's ranking 48th in the nation compared to Duke's rank of 114th. St. John's also gets to the free throw line. They're ranked 55th in the nation in percentage of points from the free throw line. That basically means St. John's will have high-quality possessions here. St. John's also ranks higher than Duke in extra scoring chances per game. I like St. John's here +7. I wouldn't be surprised if Pitino does it again and upsets Duke here. But I like the +7 with St. John's.
All right, there you have it, +7. So yet another dog for the Philly Godfather. All right, let's wrap it up with a couple of Hall of Fame coaches, Michigan State and the University of Connecticut. Tight line in this game, favoring Connecticut.
Yeah, before I break the game down, I also bet Duke not to make the Final Four at -105. So if you guys want to jump on that as well.
Okay.
But Michigan State, UConn. Yeah, UConn's what, -1.5. Total's 136. Tough game to handicap, Rick. I mean, all year I've had UConn ranked number 9 and Michigan State ranked 10th in the nation. Connecticut has 10 wins versus top 50 teams, while the Spartans have 11. Michigan State has had the slightly tougher strength of schedule, but UConn does have 3 more wins on the season. On offense, Michigan State is the better three-point shooting team. On defense, UConn defends the three-point line better. This one's really tough. I haven't bet the game yet, but since Michigan State is the better rebounding team and much better from the foul line in a tight game, I think that's going to be the difference. If I can grab the Spartans +2 -120, that's probably what I'll end up with. So Michigan State +2. They probably win the game outright too, but I haven't bet it yet, but I'm leaning that way.
There you go. Michigan State +2. All right. As we say goodbye, you play any season-long wager on Major League Baseball?
Yeah, I bet 2 futures. Took the Mariners at +1,200 to win it all. I took the Cubs at +1,800 to win it all. I bet some win totals. I'll read them to you real quick. Royals over 81.5 wins. Arizona under 80.5 wins. Cubs over 88.5 wins. Braves under 87.5 wins. And the Mariners over 88.5 wins. And I already bet the Red Sox for tomorrow -155 against the Reds.
Man, that is outstanding.
I like that one.
Yeah, I mean, I love everything you've done here. Hey, enjoy the game tonight as well there on Netflix. All right, as we say goodbye, tell them how to get the book.
Yeah, you can go to phillybook.com. I'll send you out an autographed copy. It may take 3 to 7 business days, or you can go to Barnes & Nobles or Amazon, #1 on Amazon. Ship to order. It won't be signed. I'll give you guys one more. I bet the under 7.5 in tonight's baseball game. So good luck, guys.
Under 7.5. Take care, Philly Godfather. We'll do again next week. And he is gone. Loving the dogs here. Playing 3 underdogs out of the 4 games. Illinois plus the 3.5. Okay. Actually going to play Nebraska money line, even though they're laying 1.5. I mean, that's basically a win. You're in, but not always. But if you win by 1, he's going to play money line. He's going to play Duke plus the 7, or excuse me, St. John's plus the 7 against Duke, and Michigan State plus the 2 at Connecticut. Both games tomorrow night, all 4 of them. Washington, D.C. on Friday night will have St. John's and Duke, followed up by Michigan State and Connecticut. If we look at the games that we talked about from a handicap perspective, also the 2 tomorrow night are being played in Houston. If you look at Iowa and Nebraska and Illinois and Houston, the other 2 are in San Jose tomorrow night, Texas and Purdue. And it'll be Arkansas and Arizona. All right, we got a lot to do, including John Osher. More on the Jaguars coming up in 10 minutes. We'll bring in the senior writer of Jaguars.com. He'll join us at 7.
1010XL is multimedia. Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube.
You can't buy this kind of media exposure.
1010XL, maximum media exposure.
I'm Chris Campione. Auto accidents can leave you feeling lost and overwhelmed. But at Campione Law, we're here to guide you with a personal touch through every step of the process. We don't get paid unless you get paid. CampioneLaw.com.
Count on Campione, Campione Law.
What if the next roof you put on your home was the last one? Not another replacement in 15 or 20 years, the last roof. Metlock Roofing is Florida's only manufacturer and installer of this exclusive roofing system. Engineered for strength, built for Florida weather, backed by a lifetime warranty. Imagine never needing another roof. Call 938-9933 or visit metlokroofing.com. Get your last roof today with Metlock. License number CCC 1335581.
When you drive past a Kuhn Flowers location, did you know their inside showroom is filled with gift items? Kuhn Flowers isn't just for sending flowers. Frank Frangie here, and when I need a unique gift, I head for Kuhn Flowers, Beach Boulevard, and in Ponte Vedra since 1947. Kuhn Flowers.
When it's game time, make feeding the crowd easy. Chicken Salad Chick serves fresh Southern-style chicken salad, flavorful sides, and crowd-favorite catering trays. Order ahead at chickcatering.com or visit one of 4 area locations today.
When it comes to glass, you don't want average. You want flawless. Duval Glass and Mirror has transformed homes and businesses across Jacksonville for over 35 years. Frameless showers that wow, mirrors cut exactly to your style, fogged or broken glass replaced, decorative tabletops, windows replaced or repaired to stand up to Florida storms. All backed by a 100% guarantee. Visit DuvalGlass.com for your free quote. There's only one name for glass and mirror around these parts. It's Duval!
Did you know that an annual coating inspection can extend the life of your building by years? Catching early signs like hairline cracks, fading, and moisture intrusion helps prevent costly repairs down the road and keeps your property looking its best. Our team at Performance Painting helps you stay ahead of maintenance with professional inspections and long-lasting coating solutions. Protect your building, protect your budget. Go to performance-painting.com to schedule a free inspection. Performance Painting, repair, protect, preserve.
Performance Painting! If your lawn took a beating this winter, listen up. Prosser here for Julington Creek Pest Control. They've just started the first of 3 rounds of premium granular fertilizer. No cheap liquid fertilizer here. Custom blended for Northeast Florida lawns. Their certified technicians apply slow-release nutrients. Rebuild your lawn thick, strong, and green over time. Plus, they protect your home from pests and termites. Call Julington Creek Pest Control today. Our family serving yours since 1984.
The doctors at Southeast Orthopedic Specialists have resolved my hip and foot issues, and I'm back to training for the 2028 Olympics in LA. This is Garrett Scantling, and I highly recommend Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
This is David Garrard. Following my knee surgeries and recovery, I'm continuing to feel great and would recommend Southeast Orthopedic to anyone who's experiencing orthopedic pain.
Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Still present, ready. Farah doesn't flinch. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Saw some video today on Patrick Mahomes. He's begun throwing. I mean, he is saying that, he's going to be ready. And I remember Jason Tatum saying that he would be back. And he's been back now for probably, 8-10 games for the Boston Celtics. So guys are getting back faster than they ever have. And they get back and they get stronger. One of the first to ever look that way was, in my opinion, Adrian Peterson, a decade or so ago, when he was able to do that. So we'll see what happens here with Mahomes. John Osher's next. For those of you who haven't heard, okay, if you remember last year, I was going crazy on offense. Offense. I was under the opinion you can't fix everything at once. And my whole point of view was, you have a quarterback, now do everything you can to get him the proper weapons and improve the offensive line. And they did. I mean, look at what Jacksonville did. They brought him 5 offensive linemen. They got rid of Fred Johnson. 2 new tight ends, 2 new running backs, a couple of new wide receivers. They drafted Hunter, brought in Brown, and then they made the trade for Myers. So, I love what they did offensively. This year, I'm like, all right, let's go to the other side of the ball. You need at least 1 defensive tackle. You need at least 1 edge. You now need an off-the-ball linebacker. I don't think you need a corner with the re-signing of Buster Brown, okay? Plus, it appears that Hunter's going to play more. Hear all this safety talk. All right, well, Caleb Ransaw is going to get an opportunity. Lane, even as a 4-core special teamer, I think has a chance. And I expect them to address safety, just not high. My opinion is defensive tackle at 56. I've been saying this Grayson Halton kid out of Oklahoma for quite some time. 81, 88, and 100. You have those 3 picks in the 3rd round on Friday night. I have been all about, if you draft the DT, then get an edge. If you draft an edge, then get a DT. That has to be your first pick, if not your second pick. But I've changed now with selection number 2, the 81st pick overall. I absolutely love Harold Perkins. I always loved him at LSU. I think he is a game changer. His entire career was put in reverse when he tore his ACL in 2024. You can make the case that he's never really officially recovered. He just ran a 4.38 earlier in the week, and he's an undersized, off-the-ball linebacker. To me, that would be a guy who maybe doesn't blow you away with the science, okay? The measurements, the length, all of that. Jacksonville showed last year in just one opportunity to look at what they did draft-wise that speed means so much to them. Look at the guys they drafted. They can run. It also appears that this organization, with the draft, believes in what they see on Saturday compared to Sunday, or compared to what they believe they can give you on Sunday. I know I've said this a million times, but I believe it. I mean, that was not the way it was with Bulky. If you put on the college football tape, there's not a person alive that'll look at Trayvon Walker and Aiden Hutchinson and say, based on the tape, Trayvon Walker's a better player. No way. There's not a guy alive. Trent Bulky got Walker based on his measurements, based on what he felt he could do. Okay? And I'm a big Trayvon guy. You heard Ryan O'Halloran last night on the show say he doesn't think he's earned a contract extension to this point. We'll see. We'll see what ends up happening. But for me, Harold Perkins would be just a great, and he's a guy that's not expected to go until probably the 3rd, 4th round. Just something that I did think about. All right, John Osher coming up on the other side.
Oh, yes, we can. And yes, we will. Because we've got
1010XL.
Has someone you care about been arrested or had their driver's license taken away? I'm Susan Cohen, and I work with David Robbins at the law firm of Epstein & Robbins. We are experienced fighters for those charged with DUI, domestic violence, and all criminal offenses. In your battle with the justice system, there's only one thing you need to know. Dial David 24/7 at Epstein & Robbins, 354-5645. 354-5645.
Frank Frangie here for Coil Fencing. Since 1927, Jacksonville has trusted Coil Fencing to protect what matters. and I trust them too. From tough chain link to your commercial project to sleek aluminum fencing your HOA will love, Coil does it all. Did you know that Coil can also install, service, and maintain those automatic gates that help protect your neighborhood or business? To schedule a complimentary consultation, visit CoilJacks.com. That's COYLE Jacks.com. Coil Fencing, A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
When you want to be heard, send your opinion to the 1010XL text line, designed by Lifetime Enclosures.
Thank you for believing in me when the bosses didn't give me a chance.
641-1010. No texting and driving. Get your thoughts heard on 1010XL.
Before the regular season begins, cash in on baseball right now with a title on the line. This is Joe C. for Hard Rock Bet, and 20 nations are battling for the World Baseball crown. Step up to the plate and take your swing all tournament long on Hard Rock Bet. Lock in on all the action and make every pitch matter more on Hard Rock Bet. Easy to navigate and cash a winning bet. Download the Hard Rock Bet app now. Offered by the Seminole Tribe of Florida. Must be 21 plus and physically present in Florida to wager. Terms and conditions apply. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, call 1-833-PLAY-WISE.
WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
Not everyone is built for a cubicle. At Local 234, apprentices get paid to learn hands-on skills like plumbing, pipe fitting, HVAC, the stuff Jacksonville runs on. No endless lectures, no massive student debt, just hands-on training, real jobs, and real pay. This is how you level up, by doing work that actually matters. Check them out at UA234.com. Proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Local 234. Make the right connection.
Pickett here. We got a flash sale, baby. Be the household hero and book now. Call 287-5727. Flash sale this week only for 15% off all cleaning from Zero Res. Zero Res. Fill it backwards or forwards. It's the right way to clean.
The price of gold is soaring and the price of silver is near record highs. If you got gold or silver just laying around, Estates Roadshow wants it. Broken chains, old rings, coins, watches, diamonds, vintage jewelry. If it's valuable, they're buying it. No appointment needed, just walk in. Get a free appraisal and walk out with cash. They're also buying pre-1964 silver coins, flatware, sterling silverware stamped 925. They're buying coin collections, gold, silver, foreign, and domestic. Plus, they've been in business over 35 years with thousands of happy customers. Licensed, bonded, state-certified scales, highest tech equipment, employees with GIA certification. The Estates Roadshow is happening in St. Augustine at World Golf Renaissance, Sunday through Friday, 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. For more info, call Marshall at 609-781-6559. Or go to estatesroadshow.com and follow Estates Roadshow on Facebook to see all upcoming events.
At the First Coast YMCA, there's no place like this place, with programs and experiences that will bring your whole family together. Summer will be here before we know it, and Y Summer Day Camp registration is now open. Visit your local Y to secure your child's spot early for a season full of memories and adventure. Don't delay. Day camps will fill up. There's no place like this place, so visit your local Y to sign up or online at fcymca.org. Search Summer Day Camp.
I was born in Louisiana.
The Legends 90th birthday celebration. Live. Buddy Guy, 90. Saturday, August 22nd, St. Augustine Amphitheater. Tickets on sale now at AXS.com.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farah doesn't flinch. Here's another call on the 1010XL hotline, driven by Key Buick GMC, home of the lifetime powertrain warranty. It's time for Oh No's with Jaguars.com's John Osher. Oh no. Oh, really? Oh yeah.
Well, it's a big time of year. There's no question about it. We have the NFL owners meetings in Phoenix kicking off in just 4 days. Let's bring in the senior writer, Jaguars.com. He is John Osher. How you doing, John?
Rick, how you doing, buddy?
Man, I love the owners meetings. I love when these guys sit down and try to iron out what's next for the game. I remember talking to you about this a year ago. I was really concerned about the playoff structure changing, no longer going to the 8 divisional winners with the home field. Of course, it's actually 6 with each conference getting one bye. And they tabled it. My understanding is that it hasn't really come up yet. It could, but What are your thoughts on that overall as far as change?
I would be surprised if it ever changes, and I personally don't think it should change for a couple reasons. A, if you're good enough to win the Super Bowl, you're good enough to win on the road. So I'm not convinced that it usually has a huge effect on the ultimate, the team that wins. And I like there being a carrot to winning your division. And I know people say, well, the carrot should be getting in the playoffs. Look, owners do not feel that way for the most part. Owners feel like if their team wins the division, they want the money, they want the carrot of that home playoff game, and I would just be very surprised. Some traditions go away in the NFL. I'd be surprised if that one died.
Yeah. Like Wednesday night football beginning in Seattle. Yeah, it's a great point. I mean, listen, we were both there. We saw it. The bad call in Cincinnati, a road loss, and a 19-point fourth-quarter blown lead in Houston. If not, they were 8-0 on the road. But that's not realistic year in, year out in the NFL.
Well, it's not. The really good teams can the road versus home thing historically just doesn't mean as much to a really good team. Remember back in the day, the 49ers won a gazillion games on the road when they were really good.
Right.
So, yeah, I mean, there's a lot of Jaguars fans concerned about this topic, obviously, because you've only got 6 games at the bank next year. But I kind of keep making the point that you just made, Rick. This team last year was good enough to beat not only good teams anywhere, but to win on the road against really good teams. They beat arguably the best team in the AFC on the road. And the reason is they were a good team, then didn't let things affect them. At some point, you got to go win a Super Bowl. It's going to be at a neutral site. So I get that it's a topic, and I think the home field helps very greatly when you're just an okay team. But if you're really good like the Jaguars were, and I think they will be this year, look, play them or what's the cliche? We'll play you wherever you want to play.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's the attitude they have to take next year.
Yeah. Seattle won the Super Bowl. They were 8-1 on the road, 6-2 at home, and many believe they have, with the 12th man, maybe the greatest home field advantage in the NFL. John Oehser, our guest, senior writer, Jaguars.com. I got to tell you, with the JSN deal record-setting in Seattle, I was really surprised that they turned around and matched the Jaguars offer sheet with Jake Bobo. How did you take it?
Yeah, I was a little surprised, although, usually with that offer sheet thing, back in the day, teams would put that poison pill in it, so to speak, and find something in the contract that they knew the other team couldn't quite match because of some year in the salary cap or some mechanism. And you really can't do that anymore, so the contract has to be relatively straightforward. I asked around a little bit, about Bobo. The Jags really liked him because of the level of special teams player. He's a 4-core guy. Strong, and would have been a very good, help them on game day with roster management because he could do everything, be a special teams guy, and be ready to go in as a 5th receiver. And the word on him is he's a fantastic practice player, great culture guy, core of your team type guy. And I think sort of like, for years here where the Jaguars wanted Dewey Wingard when no other team maybe would have thought or I know their fan base would have known much about him. He's sort of that guy out there. He's a big culture guy for Seattle. So, I was surprised. But once I sort of learned that about him, you can see why Seattle made such a point to keep him.
Now, this isn't like finding a defensive tackle. We're talking about a 5th wide receiver, a big-bodied wide receiver who, again, is a special teams player. Is this the return of Tim Patrick, or do you see them going in a different direction? Do you see him doing both, bringing him back and bringing in a few others?
They love Tim Patrick, but it sounded like and sort of looked like. I'm not saying they couldn't bring him back, but they really wanted to get younger there. Age was an issue, with any player that advances in years. It sounds like that's their concern about Tim Patrick. An aging veteran, you want to try to get younger. And with Bobo, you could have sort of locked that up for a foreseeable amount of time. So wouldn't shock me they brought Patrick back, but I think they would still like to get sort of a sustainable part there that they know is going to be available for a couple of years. But I think they'll continue with 11 draft picks. That guy, meaning the four core guy who can go be a receiver, you can go find that, but it's hard to ask four core and wide receiver to play at a high level for 17 games as a rookie, considering they're going to be a fourth or fifth round pick. So I think they'd like it as a veteran to rely on it now and then develop that guy who you might draft as a rookie to be in that guy in his second year.
John Osher of Jaguars.com, their senior writer, joins us every Wednesday night at 7 o'clock. All right, let's wrap it up with this. Anton Harrison, okay? They got till May 1st to pick up the fifth year. I'd be shocked if they do anything but pick it up. But if they are having conversations about him being the left tackle, I would think that they are ongoing. And then once you get to mini camp, you got to start. Then you put pads on, obviously, in July. What do you believe here? Is this Cole Van Lanen's job to lose even after the injury? Is it still Little? Or could you see the complete move, the flip from the right side to the left for Anton?
Yeah, first of all, I'm as sure as I can be that they're going to use the fifth-year option. I'd be just stunned if they didn't. I'm with you on that. And I have to sort of plead ignorance on where he'll play. It's a little bit of a blind spot for me. I haven't asked around a whole lot. The last I heard, it was still a debate because, do you switch Van Lanen and Harrison from places where they were playing well last year? Has Anton played well enough, consistently enough? When he plays at a high level, he's fantastic. Doesn't always reach the maximum level that they'd want out of him. So I don't know if they're ready to make that commitment or if it'll be a training camp issue. I know it's discussed because physically Anton's exactly you would want Anton to be that guy. Last year they worked with him a lot on consistency. Was he consistent enough for them to trust it at left tackle? Or do you need to see some more in training camp? I'm not sure, but it's a major storyline that my guess is they're still discussing.
Yeah. It's fascinating. I mean, outside of Travis Hunter, and what's going to happen there, I think it's really the biggest question in the offseason. There's many, but not as many as prior years. I mean, out of the starting 24, if you look at 12, nickel on the defense and 3 wide receivers, I mean, they're losing 3, maybe 4 starters. So they're in pretty good shape. No question about it. Hey, John, always a lot of fun. I know it's the start of Major League Baseball tonight. Yankees, Giants, you'll be glued into that one.
Yeah, I will marginally follow baseball. I'd love to get back into it. I'm still bitter over the strike back in the 90s, right?
Wow. I was talking about that. I think it was last night or it might have been Monday night. There are people, and you know what? Baseball, if they don't fix things, they're going to lock out next year. They are. So we'll see.
What a strange blind spot that would be for them.
Yep.
Considering the major hit they took, and you would think they would still remember that. But sports, people who run sports don't always make good decisions, Rick. I don't know if it's news to you or not.
Hey, next Wednesday night, we'll talk about how the NFL has to pay the officials, man. They got to get that deal done.
That's true. That's true. All right, Rick, I appreciate you.
See ya. There he goes, John Osher, with us right here on 92.5 FM. Yeah, I mean, I was mentioning the late Papa Joe Chevalier, who Sports Talk Radio fans, listeners going back decades, used to listen to Joe And, I replaced Arnie Spanier when I went to One-on-One Sports, and it became Sporting News Radio. I would go on after Joe, Papa Joe, who did pass. He refused to go back to baseball, just refused. And the steroid era brought back the game, right? The long ball. It brought it back. You leave this time, I just don't know if people are going to return. And what is so amazing, and this is why I'm incredibly excited about this year's season, okay? There's an opportunity here for about 20 to 25 young kids who could be superstars, and more than half of them are shortstops. I've never seen anything like this. I mean, it is absolutely fascinating. The brilliant young... You got Volpe at short for the Yankees. Well, remember George Lombard? Remember him out of Georgia? Or I remember him as a recruit. He was going to be a running back at Georgia. Then he went the route of minor league baseball. I think he had a cup of coffee maybe with the Braves, became a coach, still is a Major League Baseball coach, I believe, somewhere. But George Lombard Jr. is like a 19, 20-year-old shortstop prospect that is labeled as basically can't miss. And he's one of, again, more than a dozen, maybe 15, 16 young shortstops getting ready to break in to Major League Baseball. All right, thank you to John Osher. Good stuff there. Much more coming up, including your reaction. 641-1010 on the text line, brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures. You can also join us on YouTube. Just go to 1010XL into the night.
He used to protect Jags quarterbacks.
I got you, boy.
Now he guards your lunch hour.
Woo! Coming after you.
Leon Searcy.
Ready?
On XL Primetime.
Go!
Afternoons 2 to 4 on 1010XL.
Welcome to Key Buick GMC, proudly family-owned and operated since 1943. Come see why they're North Florida's new and pre-owned truck center, conveniently located on Southside and JTB, just minutes from the St. John's Town Center. At Key Buick GMC, every new vehicle comes with our lifetime powertrain warranty. Key Buick GMC, we are professional grade. Online at KeyBuickGMC.com. Lifetime powertrain warranty covers engine, transmission, drivetrain only. Exclusions apply. See dealer for details.
Leon Searcy here, your lemon pepper guy. You know Wingstop always delivers. And I'm not talking about their cook-to-order, hand-sauced and tossed chicken sandwich in your choice of 12 mouth-watering flavors. I'm not talking about the house-made ranch. So good, nobody will blame you if you double dip. I'm talking about Wingstop that delivers straight to your door. And did you know they're open until 1 a.m.? So visit Wingstop.com or use the app to get flavors delivered right to your door late night only at Wingstop.
Can't stop. Wingstop.
Jeff Breyer, president of Lifetime Enclosures and Lifetime Flooring.
And I'm Nikki Sema. My dad started in business when I was just 4 years old, and now we're 35 years and 20,000 satisfied customers in, and literally have a showroom in every neighborhood.
So whether you're looking to revitalize your home with new flooring or need more outdoor living space with a glass or screen enclosure, we've got you covered.
Visit our websites and don't forget to stop by our showrooms during our open house and cookout this Saturday from 10 to 3. Come see affordable luxury, experience a lifetime difference, and receive additional open house discounts.
Get a healthy start in 2026. The Florida Department of Health in Duval County is here to help you get healthy and stay healthy all year long. Our dedicated team is committed to providing high-quality care and trusted public health services for our community. Our mission is simple: to protect, promote, and improve the health of you and your family. Learn more about our programs and services by visiting duval.floridahealth.gov.
SportsForecaster.com has all the data you need to project tomorrow's winners. Register for free and track the performance of all your favorite players and teams, including all your fantasy team picks and prospects. Sports Forecaster has the most detailed player profiles on the web, precise depth charts, every transaction, every injury, every news update. No ranting or raving, no preening or barstool bluster. At SportsForecaster.com, you get the timely info you need for every game. SportsForecaster.com. Sign up for free today.
If your ride is making strange noises, don't wait and make it worse. Come to Action Transmission on Merrill Road. My expert technicians can diagnose the problem and likely fix it fast. Experience the difference at Action Transmission on Merrill Road.
Checkmate.
I'm Brendan Cecilia, founder of Checkmate Coatings.
And I'm Chester, Checkmate's mascot and brand ambassador.
Why do you even talk in these ads?
People see me on the trucks, Brendan, so they expect to hear from me as well.
But I have over a decade's experience personally installing high-quality polymer floors right here in Jacksonville.
Well, I'm a professional mascot, riding around on the side of your trucks, smiling at passers-by.
Then could you at least tell people about our 2-stage polymer application process? Give your garage the finishing touch with a gorgeous floor that's guaranteed to last?
A bit busy posing for selfies, I'm afraid.
Years of experience?
Check. Adorable mascot?
Check. The team you need to make your garage gorgeous? Checkmate!
Transforming your floors, making them great. Checkmate.
Visit checkmatecoatings.com. That's checkmatecoatings.com.
Hi, I'm Mac with Baker Glass. If you've got fogged up windows, let me help. We'll replace them with clear, insulated units that brighten up your home. People say we're fast, friendly, and reliable. Just check out our Google reviews. Call me today. Baker Glass. No one treats you better.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focused, fueled, fearless, Farah. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Sweet 16 tomorrow night. Major League Baseball start of the year tonight. And for the most part, a full slate of ball games coming up tomorrow. When we got off air last night, North Carolina announced the firing of Hubert Davis. Anyone who had North Carolina up 19, if you wagered on him, probably supports this move. The guy won a lot of games, 20-plus year after year after year, but they believe that they need to go in a different direction. Billy Donovan, possibly. I'd be surprised if Todd Golden goes. I'm well aware of the $16 million buyout that drops to $11 million on April 15th. Also, the fact that Scott Strickland, once again, is talking about paying him, right? He's the 7th highest paid coach right now in college basketball. As we said a little bit earlier today, Jerry McNamara is going back to Syracuse as well. Certainly enjoyed him playing back in the day. All right. Have a giveaway. Day 2 for me without soda. I'm okay with it. I miss the carbonation. Maybe there's soda in the GF drinks this. I don't even know what it's called. That is like an energy drink. So I don't know if that's technically called a soda. I had one of those a little bit earlier today before I cut the lawn, but I miss it. I'm not gonna lie to you. I miss it, Aaron, and I don't know what's next. I wonder if I could get to a point where I have one a day, a Diet Mountain Dew every single day at 6 o'clock.
Yeah, you could do it. I mean, it's hard. I mean, obviously, because, we're accustomed to a certain beverage or dessert or something like that. But, no, you could definitely do it. Just slam water. And then once you get to 6 o'clock, you'll be able to have your treat.
I drink a ton of water. And now, maybe not as much when it's chill, but when it gets really hot, oh my God. It goes down time and again. Actually, I really love water. But I just love as well the Mountain Dew. 4644 says, "Boy, I must be the only guy in town who believes that Coach Campanelli has worked intensively with Mason Smith to loidify him, to speak and get him ready at defensive tackle. I can't be the only one who believes in him." Well, last year, I made a big deal with this new staff. I mean, think about everything that happened around here. You had a first-time vice president of football operations, or president of football operations in Baselli, first-time general manager in Gladstone, first-time coach in Cohen, first-time offensive coordinator in Udinsky, first-time defensive coordinator in Campanelli. And we talked about who was going to make the biggest strides. And when we got to the defense, I said, if there's two guys who need to really pick up their game based on what they did in 2024, I went to 2 defensive tackles. I went to Eric Armstead, who did nothing in 2024. And Armstead played well for 10 games until he was injured. And, I'm starting to get to the point where the fact that they haven't invested in a defensive tackle, they only have $6 million left under the cap. You got to pay the rookies. Now, they could sign a guy. They could sign Parker. They could sign Antonio Johnson or Brenton Strange or whatever it may be, Trayvon Walker, and create some more cash. Just give them a huge signing bonus. And, there are ways around it. You could also restructure some contracts. But, forever we've been talking about how you bring back $14.4 million if it's the June 1st designation on Armstead. Can you get anything right now that is better for him? Calais Campbell, DJ Reader, DeQuan Jones, the guy that I love, who's a little bit undersized, Grayson Halton, at number 56, around 290 pounds, coming out of Oklahoma. We'll see. The second guy that I picked was Mason Smith. Admittedly, Mason Smith did not take care of his body last year. He didn't eat well. Matt, do you remember when Jalen Ramsey got here? Do you remember it was viral? He put out somewhere like his food for the night, and it was like a couple of candy bars and like Skittles and stuff. And people were just like, are you kidding me? You're a first-round draft pick. Nutrition is so huge. And I've been inside the cafeteria at the brand new Miller Electric Center facility. Okay? I mean, you would not believe the selection of food that the Jaguars have. It is absolutely amazing. I mean, the different types of protein and meats, salad, vegetables, fruits. It goes on and on and on and on and on. Okay? I mean, everything is there. You take nutrition so seriously in the NFL. Mason Smith didn't do it as a rookie, and he was a healthy scratch. He got blown off the ball last year. It was Luke Fortner-esque blown off the ball, and he needs to get stronger. That's the first thing. I read an early projection. I apologize. I don't know who did it, because I always try to source where I read something. Whatever's written about the Jags, I read. Doesn't matter, okay? And if people take time out to do mock drafts, and people take time out to go to 53-man, whatever it is, I always try to reference. But I read one this week that had Mason Smith getting cut, and I was like, why? Why would you give up on Mason Smith? He's so affordable. He's year 3 of a rookie deal. I mean, he's got a cap number of $2.1 million. Can you fix him? Now, what's encouraging is this. Devon Hamilton played much better. Only played 44% of the snaps. Devin Lloyd played much better. He was only out there 57% of the time on 3rd and 4th down. Think about that. Think about that for a moment. Marked improvement by Antonio Johnson. Marked improvement once he was benched, and then he came back with Jarian Jones. Okay, and then you go to, obviously on offense, Parker Washington, Cole Van Lannon. You can go on and on and on. Travis Etienne, Trevor Lawrence, right? Guys who've been around here have improved. So do you put the stake through the wooden heart of Smith and just say it's never going to happen? I think a lot of people would say yes. It's not going to happen. But I'm not 100% on that. I think there's still a chance. He's got to be a smart enough guy to understand that if he can turn his career around and he gets a second contract, it could arguably, if he does the right things, set him up for the rest of his life. Certainly give him an unbelievable foundation for his next career, or he could be out of the league. This is a guy who could be cut and be out of the league. Mason Smith. A believer, yes or no?
It's hard, especially after seeing what he did last year. But, I mean, let's not judge a guy by his worst performance. Let's see. Let's, give it some time. Let's see what he can do. I mean, if it's consistent after this year, then, I mean, I won't really know what much more to say about him.
They got production out of B.J. Green. They got production out of Danny Strigow. They got production out of Austin Johnson. They got production out of, Matt Dickerson. It just goes on and on and on. The coaching around here has really improved. I mean, look at what Diami Brown said. If there was a guy that you would think would rip this organization, it was him, because they stopped playing him. He had only positive things to say. Look at Devin Lloyd. You would think maybe he's hurt that he didn't get the offer he wanted by the Jaguars. He did tell the Carolina Press that Jacksonville did make an offer. Okay, and I came in a week, 10 days ago. Perhaps you missed it. He did say that, but he raved about the coaching staff. I mean, this is a really good staff. And you get the feeling that guys really want to play hard for each other and, for the coaches as well. So I think there's a chance here. I really do. It has zero influence on my complete feeling that defensive tackle is absolutely where they have to go at number 56. There's no question about it. And remember, it's considered the weakest position in this draft, not named quarterback. I mean, I look at these mock drafts and I see some of them, maybe a third defensive tackle making its way in, more of a need pick than a value pick, where there are some of these mock drafts that have 8 edges. Now, that's the other part of this. Do you draft an edge because you need a third edge and, move Walker inside? Okay, well, I like that, but I like it in situations, if that makes any sense. I talked to O'Halloran about it last night. I talked with Osher about it tonight. My mind says take Anton Harrison and put him at right tackle. My mind does not say make Trayvon Walker an every down defensive tackle. What it says is he's a situational football player. He starts on the edge. First down, second down, could run as much as pass. And then, he becomes kind of like Calais. But what did the Jaguars have then? They had 2 other pass rushers. You had Unique Ngakoue and you had Josh Hines-Allen. So you could afford to move Calais inside. They need another edge. They tried. Emmanuel Ogbah didn't work. Dewan Smoot didn't work. Again, you got these young undrafted guys, but they need at least one more edge. And, forever I've said defensive tackle first, then edge. Then this Harold Perkins thing has been kicking me around a little bit. I mean, 81 to 88, you could go DT, edge, and maybe still get Harold Perkins at 88, maybe still get Harold Perkins at 100. We don't know. What I do know is this. The only other place I'd rather be than broadcasting this show tonight is the Blue Crab House. Do you understand that they have $1 oysters on Wednesday night? It's 7:32, $1 oysters until 9 o'clock. It's right off of San Jose, Julington Creek Road. It is the one. It is the only. The Blue Crab House.
It's full tilt to the finish line.
Going into 3 for the lead.
It's a half mile of havoc at Martinsville Speedway.
The race for the win.
NASCAR is wrapped up by the Plumbers and Pipe Fitters Local Union 234 and 1010XL.
Liberty Landscape Supply is sponsoring Whiteout Cancer Night with the Jacksonville Icemen, Friday, April 3rd. Wear your Iceman gear in store and grab free game tickets while supplies last. Bring your ticket back with any $25 purchase and get a free 1-gallon plant. Liberty Landscape Supply has been making outdoor projects simple in Jacksonville for nearly 20 years. Find one of the 4 area locations at libertylandscapesupply.com.
Has any Major League Baseball player ever hit 2 grand slams in the same inning?
Filing an insurance claim following a storm shouldn't be an ordeal. Southern Oak Insurance's claim team prepares for catastrophic situations well in advance. Log on to southernoak.com.
Our family protecting yours. Southern Oak Insurance.
Fernando Tatis of the Cardinals hit 2 grand slams in the same inning in 1999. Both came off the same pitcher, Chan Ho Park of the Dodgers.
Southern Oak Insurance, our family protecting yours.
Hicken here. Experience crystal clear vision with the Eye Associates, formerly Bow 9 Associates, Schneider Eye and Wellness Center, and Janet Betchkel, MD, Jacksonville's leader in advanced eye care. From routine eye exams to specialized vision care, their experienced team dedicated to improving and preserving your vision. The same care you've come to trust, now with a new name. To schedule your appointment today, call the Eye Associates, formerly Bow 9 Associates, Schneider Eye and Wellness Center, and Janet A. Betchkel, MD, at 296-0098.
Indoor golf in Ponte Vedra is here. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Play the best courses in the world at Back 9 Golf. Top simulators, analytics to improve your game, or just have a blast with friends or a client. Get this, you can bring your own beverages, including cocktails. Go to back9golf.com, book a tee time today. Membership opportunities, lessons, Back 9 Golf in Ponte Vedra, next to Nice High School. Back 9 Golf, where golf never sleeps.
Hicken here. Oh boy, you know I love a good flash sale, and we got one right now from Zero Res. This week only 15% off all cleaning. It's International Cleaning Week, baby. Carpet, air ducts, tile, grout, upholstery, hardwood, area rugs, and more. Be the household hero and book now. Call 287-5727. Flash sale this week only for 15% off all cleaning from Zero Res. Tell Dan sent you. Zero Res, spell it backwards and forwards. It's the right way to clean.
Zero Res.
Bueller.
Stay cooler with Bueller.
Hey, pal.
Stand back, Jason. I'm gonna
Sneeze? Yeah, I saw that coming.
It's all this spring pollen, Jason. It's outside and it's inside my house, and I just can't stop. I can't stop.
Sneezing? Okay, let me help you with that.
How can you help?
At Bueller Air and Plumbing, we can improve your indoor air quality with air purifiers, UV lights, and filtration systems. Every new system we install includes high-efficiency 4-inch filters that work better and last longer, even if you forget to change them.
Wow, that's amazing. It's amazing.
Life can get pretty dusty sometimes. If you spend all day, you could miss it.
Stay cooler with Bueller.
Visit BuellerAir.com.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm, and Chuck McDowell definitely not an attorney. This is Chuck. If someone talked you into buying something really silly and you want to get out of that silly little thing, my advice, get the facts. Call me and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit absolutely free. Inside, you'll learn how timeshare works and all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free exit information kit. 800-791-0000. That's 800-791-0000.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Still present, ready. Farah doesn't flinch. Now, the Monahan's golden moment. Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach, your local family jewelers.
You know, you go back to 2003, Jerry McNamara, a big part of that Syracuse national championship team. It was a golden moment, historically speaking, in the NCAA tournament because his teammate, Hakeem Warwick, got up the paw to block what could have been the game-tying three-point shot. With that said, Aaron Williams, you can take that and make it tonight's question. You're giving good stuff away again. What do you got?
I got a family 4-pack to Sporting Jacks women versus Spokane at Hodges Stadium Saturday, March 28th. So you and 3 family members can go see Sporting Jacks women March 28th at Hodges Stadium. Just call in 641-1010. And I think there's a question that you got to answer too, Rick. What's that question?
Yeah, well, Hakeem Warwick made the block. That Syracuse team only had one senior. They had 3 freshman starters, if you look at Billy Edelin and Carmelo Anthony and Jerry McNamara. But it was Warwick who, again, had the game-winning block shot. Who did Syracuse beat that night for the national championship? You give Aaron that school, and you get the 4-pack. 4-pack family fun pack. Just call 641-1010 and have a good time with that. Okay, Blue. This is from the 3000. Let's talk about some real sports. Connor McDavid scored twice to surpass 400 goals last night, 1,200 points in a 5-2 win against the Oilers over the Utah Mammoth. Yeah, and I knew he was like 380, 398, 399. I was like, he did not just get an empty net goal for number 40. It ended up being number 41 for Connor McDavid, who, as I have said, I think he's entering Mount Rushmore. In my opinion, it's not even close, okay? It's Bobby Orr, it's Wayne Gretzky, and I got to go old school with Gordie Howe. But for number 4, you can go Lemieux, you can go Crosby, you can go Guy Lafleur. Some may say Alex Ovechkin. I say hell no, because all he does is score. He doesn't assist, doesn't play any defense. Rocket Richard. You could go Peter Stastny. You could go Steve Yzerman. You could go Mike Bossy. You could go Jaromir Jagr. You could go Phil S. I mean, you could go Bobby Hull. You could go Brett Hull. Connor McDavid is sliding right in there. He is absolutely phenomenal. Do we have a winner? 641-1010. Not yet. My God, man. I mean, you get a chance to see soccer. 641-1010 when Syracuse won that national championship in 2003. Who did they beat for the national championship? You know, they're just on the way tonight. You know, the Buffalo Sabres have like a New York Jets playoff drought. It's absolutely incredible. And they're the best overall record right now in the East, in the National Hockey League. And it's a big game tonight for Boston. It is Buffalo up, no score early on in this game between Buffalo and Boston.
What are their odds to win the whole thing?
Yeah, I don't know what the odds are for Buffalo. I haven't looked at long hockey odds because there's still about 15 games left, and then it's a 2-month jaunt. I got to believe Colorado is the overwhelming favorite.
Ever since you told me that they're on this huge drought like the New York Jets, I'm kind of interested to see.
I think it's been 14 years. Didn't I say that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is crazy. I mean, I thought the Jets and the Browns organization were only this bad.
Getting a lot of stuff in on oysters here. 4644 battered fried oysters. Fried seafood to me is still incredible, but I almost never do it. I almost never do the fried seafood. I don't care what it is. Fish and chips all the way through to fried shrimp. Now, we get a lot of people giving us the answers on the text line. Let me be clear about this. For this winner, it has to be on the phone line. Okay, 641-1010. Who did Syracuse beat with Jerry McNamara as a true freshman on that national championship team? Who did they defeat? If you can give us the answer, you do get that 4-pack. I know I'm so used to giving the text line that maybe you got it wrong here. So if you want to blame me, you can. 3822 Blue. I gave up drinking soda for the most part about 10 years ago, drinking a couple a day. It's tough at first, but you won't crave it. You got this. I appreciate the vote of confidence. I mean, how bad is it really? Okay, I don't do the calories with the Coke or the Mountain Dew. I do the diet. I've always heard the diet is probably worse than the regular. Who knows what the hell they put into it? I guess it still has sugar, which is something that the older you get, you're just trying to eliminate. I mean, there's enough sugar in beer, right, that you should basically avoid soda. I'm trying. It's day 2. Look at all these people with the answers on the text line. You got to call. You got to call, ladies and gentlemen. You got to call. 3,800. Talking to my grandma back in Jacksonville. She basically detests in any preparation of seafood other than fried. You got to be kidding me. I just listened to her and said, wow, Grandma. No one's going to argue with Grandma. But fried? No. I really don't like fried. Fried chicken's great, but I would much rather have grilled chicken. Chicken fried steak is really incredible with all the gravy, but I'd rather have a regular grilled steak. It's the same thing with seafood, man. Just give me regular seafood, and, you can do it any way you like over there at the Blue Crab House. Do we have a winner?
Yes, we do. Carrie called in, gave me the correct answer. The Kansas Jayhawks.
How about that?
He called in confident and everything. I mean, he already knew. So, yep. So Carrie is my winner for the contest.
Oh, go spit in the lake, Roy Williams. His final game, he would leave and go to UNC. I'll never forget the post-game interview with Bonnie Bernstein. And Williams, in my opinion, really demeaned her because she asked about leaving and going to UNC right after this devastating. And instead of just looking at Bonnie and saying this or that or making a comment or making a no comment, he goes, I understand your producer in the truck told you that you have to ask this question, but right now is not the time. This, that. I was like, man, that's not going to go over well. You've got a lady journalist asking a question that absolutely has to be asked. Give her credit for asking the question, not the producer in the truck saying, hey, Bonnie, hey, Bon. That's what you used to call her. So I remember when you used to come into the locker room back in the day, back when you didn't have to worry about getting canceled for anything. One of the very first, Bonnie Bernstein, man, she was something back in the day. Very, very kind person. I used to see her in town, but I as well would see her on Radio Row. I think she wrapped up her career by actually doing sports updates on a New York radio station. It wasn't The Fan. I think it was their ESPN channel. And, she gambled. She gave up the sideline stuff and wanted to take on coaching, training, teaching, broadcasting. And I don't think it ever really developed. But, listen, Leslie Vesser, I love. Boston. She was with the Globe. She was the one who was on top of the whole Boston College point shaving mess, which, depending on who you listen to, involved Jimmy Burke and the Pittsburgh stuff and the Goodfellas and all of this. And if you read the book, it may have something to do with it, with the animals and the Philly Godfather and Whitey Bulger and Leslie Visser. Okay, but after that, it's probably Bonnie Bernstein for me. But anyway, Roy really made an ass out of himself after that loss. Congratulations, you get the 4-pack. You get to see soccer, and it's coming to you sooner than later.
Live streaming from the XL Digital Studios. Brightened by Harbor Dental Care, Jacksonville's first choice for dental emergencies.
This is Jeff Middlecoff with Cogent Bank. My associate Ryan Salem and I joined Cogent Bank because we wanted to revolutionize the mortgage business, just like Cogent Bank has revolutionized the banking business. So Ryan Salem and I are able to leverage the power and stability of Cogent Bank to go out and find our clients the best investors, the best products, and the best rates in the entire country for your particular mortgage loan. Of course, you don't have to be a customer at Cogent Bank to take advantage of our mortgage services to buy or refinance your home. We offer jumbo loans, VA, FHA, conventional, and investment loans. At Cogent Bank, we offer mortgages nationwide, so we can help you with a second home or help a family member who lives or is moving to another state. Call Ryan Salem or myself, Jeff Middlecoff, at Cogent Bank today, 904-442-9191, to see how we can help you with any of your mortgage loan needs, whatever or wherever they may be.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender, Cogent Bank, NMLS ID 402296, Ryan Salem, NMLS ID 1182429, Jeff Middlecoff, NMLS ID 249086.
Northeast Florida's highest-rated residential home electrical contractor is American Electrical, providing unsurpassed quality in Duval, St. Johns, Clay, and Nassau counties. No matter your electrical problem or project, large or small, American Electrical will get it done at a price that's right. High-quality electrician, that's who they are. Trust a company that's been on the First Coast for decades, proudly serving the community while being a big part of the community. Call American Electrical for all your electric needs at 737-7770. Wired right at a fair price.
Come visit the best sports restaurant in town. That's Big Dogs in Orange Park, known for great burgers, huge wings, pizza, salads, and special nightly events like trivia and karaoke. You'll all love it at Big Dogs Restaurant in Orange Park.
Hey, Jacksonville, David Garrard here. If you want a street-legal golf cart that's built with quality and style, check out Dynamic Drives and Designs in Jacks Beach. They have new, used, and fully customized carts from the top brands like Atlas, Dodge, and Pilot Car. Every cart gets a complete expert inspection, so you know it's ready to hit the road. Their team can help you design the perfect custom cart that fits your style and needs. For your custom golf cart, visit dynamicdrivesdesign.com today and see your perfect ride.
At G&H Tires and Service, the G stands for great pricing. The H, well, that means honest service. For over 20 years, Roger and his team have helped Jacksonville drivers stay safe on the road. Need brakes, oil change, AC not blowing cold? Well, how about a super affordable $36 oil change? Affordable brake jobs, AC checks before summer hits, alignments for all these construction roads, and even free check engine light inspections. Locally owned, community driven. G&H Tires and Service on Beach Boulevard.
Looking for adventure? Need a machine that works as hard as you do? CF Moto has you covered. At Ride Now Beach Boulevard, we've got CF Moto ATVs and UTVs built for any task, any trail, anytime. Tear up the dirt with the trail-tested C-Force ATV lineup or conquer through terrain with a Z-Force UTV. Find your CF Moto ride today at Ride Now Beach Boulevard or visit ridenowbeachboulevard.com. ATVs and UTVs are for riders 16 and older. They can be hazardous to operate. CF Moto recommends an improved safety training course.
Rotator cuff injuries are common among athletes and those who have physically demanding careers. Don't let this injury keep you away from the sport you love. Dr. George Bari here, and the first thing you need to do with a serious shoulder injury is to diagnose where the damage is and how significant it is. Rotator cuff tears are either acute tears sustained during an injury or accident, or degenerative tears. If you're interested in learning more about rotator cuff repair and how our expert team of orthopedic surgeons can help you, call Bari Orthopedics today or visit BariOrthopedics.com.
Mark Watson with Hardball Creative. What's better than beer? Cold beer. Put your company logo on a custom koozie. Check them out at hardballcreative.com.
Hardball Creative. Hardball does it all.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farah doesn't flinch. Now, the 2-minute drill is driven by nobody but Nimnik. Nimnik Chevrolet on Cassett Avenue and Nimnik Buick GMC on Phillips Highway.
All right, getting a little bit tight on time, so let's get right after it. What do you have planned this evening, Ryan the Hacker Green?
Yeah, we'll certainly do some NFL talk. Eric Edholm, NFL.com, is going to join us to look back on the Jaguar offseason and certainly look ahead to the draft next month. Also, Keith Smith of the NBA Front Office Show, as we are about 2 to 3 weeks away from the NBA playoffs, and boy, Orlando and Miami just limping in. They're probably going to be in the play-in. They're going to have very short-lived postseasons. Your Boston Celtics, what a story. All year, basically, without Jason Tatum. He's back now, and the Celtics, one of the surprises of the season.
There's a lot of clauses involved in that 65-game rule. isn't
yeah.
there?
Yeah.
I mean, is it hurt during season? Because a guy like Tatum, he didn't come back. I think he's played, 10 games?
Yeah. And you can't win anything if you don't play 65 games.
Yeah. It's amazing. And, they want to talk about making some changes there. It doesn't matter what the sport is. Everyone is talking about significant changes that are going to happen. And that'll be the owners' meetings kicking off this weekend. All right, so you got all that coming up, and you get the opportunity to watch on Netflix the first pitch of Major League Baseball.
Yeah, and, I'm casual baseball. You're a diehard, so certainly you appreciate it more than I do. But I always, on opening day, I have a story about my grandfather that I like to share, and I'm going to share that tonight and his love for baseball, so that'll come up right out of the gate.
Well, I'm going to be listening if it's coming right out of the gate. I listen anyway, but I love grandfathers when it comes to baseball more than any other sport, because a lot of them didn't get an opportunity to watch it on TV. They listened on the radio and did things like that. And anyway, always a lot of fun. Have a great show tonight.
Thanks, Rick.
It's going to do it for us. We'll be back tomorrow night. I'm already excited about that show. Thursday night's going to be a whole heck of a lot of fun around here. First off, we'll have a full slate of games that are going on in Major League Baseball, and we will be getting ready for 4 games that will be played in the NCAA tournament, Sweet 16 to the Elite 8. Speaking of which, the Philly Godfather, he knocked them all up and down a week ago. He was undefeated here on the air. We had him on earlier tonight as well. John Osher joined us. We appreciate that. For Aaron Williams, my name is Rick Ballou. Enjoy Hacker Nation, and I will talk with you tomorrow right here on 92.5 FM.